This time out then, we're at Suzuka for today's daily race. This is the first race I did actually of the day. Qualified in 7th there with a 59.6. Definitely another 3 or 4 tenths in it, but I settled on that and went towards the race in the end. So yeah, 10 lap race, 8 times tyre wear, so it'll be getting a bit slippy towards pit stop area, which will be about lap 5 or 6, yeah, halfway point. So here we go, about to get underway. We're driving the Porsche once again. It seems to be a split at the moment between the Porsche and the GT by Citroen, but we've gone for the Porsche here, just seemed a little bit easier on traction, and we get underway as we head down to turn 1 for the first time. Now, I was struggling around this circuit. I was not confident of the car on the curbs. I didn't have confidence in that I could be consistent, but we went for it anyway, and we've already gained 1 position there as the car in front misjudges the braking into turn 1, which is easily done, especially on the opening lap of the race, and yeah, his race has already taken a turn for the worse. 1 turn in, as we now go into the S section. Enjoy this section, it's good fun. Down into fuel mix 3 you can see. Trying to save a bit of fuel in this section of the lap, and then back up to fuel mix 1. I think we used 2 around here for a lot of the time. Yeah, I switched to 2 now. Purely because you can save fuel without losing much lap time, and because there's a little bit of contact there in front, and that does give us a bit of a run. We go to the right hand side, but we think better of it. But then we've tried to hold it by the outside. There's another car running even wider than us, and we get a bit of contact from another car there on the exit of the hairpin, so that was all a bit close, but we do come out of it in 6th place. We tried to hold it by the outside there, but then somebody else chucked it down the inside, and yeah, could have gone better, but could have gone a lot worse as well, as more contact in front of us pushes the car wide. Once you get on the outside there on the AstroTurf, you just go sailing off as that car did, and we benefit from that and move into 5th now. So not a bad opening lap so far from us. Up to fuel mix 1 obviously now for this section, which is all about top speed. Look at the slipstream there from the car in front. We think better of it though, a bit late catching him, so we back out and follow him through. I was especially struggling in as the car behind goes for a move down the inside there. We see him there, we give him space, and that has compromised his exit. A bit of a late move there he went for. We did see him coming though and left him room, and we both come out of it okay as we continue now on to lap 2. Yeah, the first sector was where I was really struggling for confidence on the brakes. Also the car behind us there makes a little bit of contact into turn 1 there. I think it was a bit caught out by how early we braked there, taking it a bit easy, and yeah, a bit of contact. Yeah, I was quite enjoying this section. I felt quite comfortable here, especially in the fuel mix 3 to just limit the tyre wear and the rear wheels spinning. But that final sector I was really struggling with. That high-speed left-hander, I was really not confident on the turning point, and also braking for the final chicane. The car felt very unstable on the curbs. The rear of the car always felt like it wanted to come round on me, so I was just so hesitant on the power. I knew it was losing me lap time compared with others, but I just couldn't sort it out in the limited amount of practice time I had beforehand while trying to set a qualifying lap. As we now move on to the back of the Porsche in front of us. Look a bit quicker running through that sector at the moment, but it's very close as you can see at the moment. As we get a good run there, he got a poor exit. He actually got an initial getaway, wasn't too bad, but then he struggled and we managed to easily cruise by him there. He defended to the right, which wasn't really the right side to go, I don't think, as it was a left-hander coming up, which was the corner I was always going to use to go for the move. So we were able to dive down the inside there in the braking zone and move into 4th position now as we enter the final few corners of lap 2. As we get on the grass actually a bit there, a bit distracted looking in the rear view mirror, and yeah, that could have been nasty. That was need to spend more time looking where I'm going and not looking behind, I think, especially with the mirror at the top there anyway. No need to really actually look back. But yeah, we continue on to lap 3. Not too bad next, but looking at that time, Although he is closing us down. We were struggling with exit there. Again, as I say, traction off the curbs on the front chicane was an issue for me. It was definitely proving difficult, and it was making me vulnerable. But yeah, I do know for a fact there's some quick drivers in this lobby. The more you play this game, once you're at a pretty consistent driver rating, you do tend to see the same people quite a bit. I know for a fact that some of these drivers are super quick and consistent, so we certainly can't bank on these front three making mistakes. We're going to have to actually work to move up any further in this, that's for sure. But to be honest, I was pretty happy to be where I am now at this stage in the race. But you can just see in the mirror there, 4, 5, 6 cars behind us. So we certainly can't rest on our laurels in 4th position. One small error or move from the car behind that goes a bit wrong or anything could put us down, 10th, 11th, 12th. So yeah, got to absolutely focus. So easy to lose the car here. It really was. I was concentrating hard during this race, especially if I wasn't feeling that hooked up. I was having to really work hard with the car to get any sort of pace and consistency out of things at the moment. You seem to get that exit pretty good there. Obviously absolutely crucial to get on the power early there, but slipstream does play an effect, and you can see the car behind getting a good run on us. We try and stay in the middle of the track, try and make it difficult for him to decide which way to go, and he does back out of that. He would have been at a bit tight of an angle to go for the move on the inside there, with us being placed midway through the track, as braking for the chicane. Oh, but again, struggling on the exit there on the curbs. I really should have been perhaps running left curb. I did try that in practice though, and it seemed to hurt me, certainly in qualifying pace. It hurt me to avoid those curves. You had to try and risk all and ride as much as you can. As he gets a really good run once again now into turn 1, but we hold the inside line. He's got nowhere to go. We get the initial turn in pretty good. Now block him off mid-corner and get a good exit. We're not worried about how slow we are mid-corner. It's all about defending on the way in and then slow mid-corner to get a good exit to launch us into the next part of the track. The fuel mix 3 again through this sector. I run this strategy really. Obviously I knew I'd have to pit. The tyres won't go the race distance without falling off the cliff. So, but I was running the fuel there partly, as I said before, to conserve rear tyre wear, but also to spend less time in the pits. You can see how close the field is, and to gain just a couple of seconds in the pits by adding less fuel for the second stint can be the difference between winning or losing several positions. So that was my plan, to try and conserve fuel in that first sector where people couldn't attack me, hoping it would pay dividends when the pit stops came. And we'll see how that turns out in a lap or two's time, as we're now on lap 4. So we're approaching pit stop territory. I presume most people will pit on lap 5. So we'll see what we do. As again, yeah, getting pretty good exit out of there on the power, feeding the power on a little bit. You can't just nail the throttle. I think I'm running traction on 1 for this race, either none or 1. So you have to be easy on the throttle, progressive on it. If you nail it, you will lose the rear as the car behind us runs a bit wider. It's easily done. He rejoins and doesn't look like he's lost him any time at all, as he's right up behind us against that chicane. But I think again that does cost him a little bit, being almost too close to us mid-corner there. He can't get on the power as early as he normally would, and it gives us a little bit of a buffer. You see, we've pulled away, we're nearly half second ahead now. We get midway through the straight, and then the slipstream effect kicks in, and he gets it back down to 2 tenths as we approach the braking zone for turn 1, and then right on our bumper once again. He was being more aggressive into that corner than me, but I felt with track position I had more to lose. I was trying to run a little bit conservatively into that braking zone. Obviously in qualifying on the hot laps you can really attack it and gain time, but in the race I was trying to err on the side of caution, especially as it was my first attempt at this race for the day. Back at the fuel mix 1 now. We're on lap 5, so we're feeling the need to run 1, now back down to 2. As we approach this, you can cut this reasonably, to a reasonably large amount without getting penalised by the game. It's important you do hit the apex, at least hit the apex. Even take a bit on the inside there, a bit of curb, in order to be quick through that section of track. As once again we lose the rear on the exit of the hairpin there. I was struggling with that, especially now with rear tyre wear. First time experiencing that here obviously today, and yeah, I was struggling as the car behind us has got a good run on us, but we go to the left to defend, and yeah, he gets alongside us, but then he has nowhere to go, he has to back out of it, and has cost himself a little bit of time again there. We learned from the car earlier, defending to the right, and so we did the opposite there, went to the left, and it did work. It maintained us the position, but you can see that group of cars behind us are quicker than us. I think we are being bit of a mobile chicane here at the moment. We are holding cars up behind as we touch that grass again as well on the turning point there. We've got to be careful with that. Just not confident there and a bit distracted with the cars behind, and yeah, making a few errors here, and again on traction, really looking a bit scrappy. I usually try and pride myself on being smooth and consistent, even if I'm not that quick, but yeah, I'm making a few errors here. As you can see, cars around us have all pitted. End of lap 5, they've all pitted. We've gone on again, we've gone on another lap. This worked well for us the other day in my last video I uploaded at Willow Springs, going the extra lap. Actually helped us quite a bit towards the end of the race, but I'm not so sure here. It was always my plan to maybe go the extra lap, but the cars behind me were quicker. Looking back now, I probably should have just pitted at the end of that lap, did what they did and maintained track position, and hoped that the fuel saving I've done in that stint would have actually brought me out ahead of them, perhaps further ahead than I was before. But we've gone the extra lap, running fuel mix 1. We've left it in fuel mix 1 this time as well. Going to push a little bit harder on this in lap, try and lose as little time as possible on the worn tyres. We are sliding around a bit now. Especially those rear tyres, we've been struggling all race with that, and it's only exacerbating it now that we're reaching the end of the tyre life. So yeah, we will be pitting the end of this lap. You'll see we're nearly half a tank of fuel, not quite, in between a quarter and half tank. 2.8 laps remaining, so we've done alright on the fuel saving in that middle stint, in that first sector, and it will mean that yeah, we won't need to put in as much fuel in the pit stop. So let's see how that works out for us as yeah, we approach the end of lap 6. So the race is flying by. It's gone alright for us so far, not too many incidents after that initial bit of argy-bargy on the opening lap, as you often get even when you're racing clean drivers. Just so many cars on track at the start of the race often leads to little bits of contact, but it was nothing too bad at all part of the race. As we now enter the pit lane, we select the hard tyres, which is all we can select, and you can see 2.4 laps of fuel we've got in the car. We need 4 laps of fuel to finish the race, unless we do lots of fuel saving. So let's see how much we decide to go with. Here we go, agonisingly waiting for the car to be filled. We go with 4.2 laps. We've slightly overfueled, which should allow us to push a bit more towards the end of the stint. But you can see there we're down to 6th, 4th and 5th there, but sailing by us on the exit. So that hasn't really worked too well for us, to be honest. I don't think we had the ultimate pace to be able to do much on that extra lap, and combined with the worn tyres as well. We've come out in 6th. So yeah, a bit frustrated with that. I was thinking at this point maybe I could have fueled less and run less rich fuel, less mix 1 in this final stint, but it was too late now. It was done, and I was trying to just focus now on doing what I can to see if I can get near those cars ahead of us. It didn't look like we had the pace to do so in the first stint to match them, but we can only use mix 1 now as much as we can. We know we've got a supplement of fuel now, so no point holding back. We will run more power 1 now and see what we can do. And on the fresh tyres we should have a bit more confidence in those tricky parts of the track that we're struggling with on the curbs, and yeah, especially in that front chicane. We should be able to attack it a little bit more now. 3.4 second gap behind us, so we don't have to worry too much about the cars behind. We can focus on looking forward and hitting our lap times now. first time in the race really we haven't been under immediate pressure from behind. So I was able to relax a little bit more now and try and run just hot laps, a bit more like I was in practice and qualifying. Just try and settle into my rhythm without having to worry about defending and where the car's behind or quicker or slower. So yeah, I was looking forward to having a go at these guys, but in the back of your mind you know you probably made the wrong strategy call. We should have pitted lap 5 there. Often the first race of the day you do find these things out, and yeah, looking back we should have matched there, we should have pitted. We had track position, should have pitted, and hopefully we'd have fueled less than them because of the strategy we've been running, and we could have come out in front. But as it is, we're in 6th. So we started 7th I think it was, so we're already one position up from where we started, so we can't be too upset with that at all. And there's still 3 laps to go to see what we can do, see if we can move forward any further. Often it is this part of the race, the last lap or two, when some guys' concentration will go. You never know, might get a mistake in front, might get an opportunity somewhere, as we turned in too early there and we get a slowdown penalty. Just misjudged the turning point there. Eager to close on the guys in front I think, and just caught out by going back to fresh tyres, grubby tyres compared with the warm ones we were on that final in lap before we pitted. And yeah, we cut the corner and got a 4-second penalty, 4 and a bit seconds I think it was. We've already got a second of that down just by natural braking, and to be fair on this game, at this circuit and at others as well, you honestly don't need to worry about a minor slowdown penalty like that, as long as you get it with a couple of laps to go. Just your natural flow around the circuit, naturally braking and taking the corners, it'll just whittle down on its own. So I won't actually need to worry about that penalty, I can ignore it. It'll deal with itself hopefully by the end. So it shouldn't hinder us too much. As we get on that grass, get a little bit there I think on the left on the turning point. And taking a lift as well, quite a big lift on the throttle. In qualifying you can actually take that flat out. The car feels really on edge to do so, but it feels great when you get it right, and it is another key to a good lap time, a good qualifying lap. It's very, very, very frustrating to drive a minute and 40 seconds of perfect lap to then misjudge that turning point and run wide and the lap's thrown away. But yeah, great when you get it right, but in this race scenario you've got to take it more cautiously there. As we now start lap 9, so penultimate lap then, we're in sector 1, taking the S's, trying to be smooth on the throttle. Fuel mix 1, so we're keeping it fuel mix 1 now, pushing as hard as we can, and we are closing up now, you can see on the car in front. I think he's made a few little errors, and I think he is struggling a bit with possibly fuel saving. We obviously don't have to worry about that at all, he may well be. And we have got a lap fresher tyres than the cars around us, which with 8 times tyre wear will definitely benefit us on this lap, and especially on the last lap it will 100%, it will be an advantage. So hopefully we'll get a bit of payback now from that late pit stop that we made, as we now close right up onto the Porsche head. Captain Elroy is it, who looks to be struggling a bit with the rear of the car himself. Fixed setups obviously here, so he is running the same setup as us. As we get a really, really good run, we look down the inside, but we don't go for it. We just match him in the braking zone there. Felt it was a bit too risky, wasn't quite far enough alongside to commit fully to the corner, and I didn't want to end up running wide, pushing him off track. So we thought better of it. Got another good run out of there, and big slipstream effect now. Pull to the left hand side, and yeah, we're already clear by, and we get the braking point. Yeah, conservatively I expect we'll stay to the inside now. Do we? Oh, we do a little bit, not as much as I thought we might. We stay in the middle of the circuit, get the braking point. Bit of wheel spin on the exit, but not too bad, and away, and we've got a better exit than the car behind as well. So that moves us into 5th place now, so we're up 2 positions from when we started as we enter the final lap. So it looks like we're probably going to be too far away from the cars in front, but let's see what happens. Let's get the braking point for turn 1, down to 3rd, down to 2nd now to get the car to rotate on the apex, and then on the throttle, full throttle now, fuel mix 2, just been a bit cautious on the fuel. Well, actually slightly over, I could have run fuel mix 1 here, but during the race I've just been a little bit cautious through this first sector, running fuel mix 2. especially as tyre wear started to kick in. As the car ahead of us really struggling now. You see we closed up really quick there in just the space of a couple of corners. I think he must be running a really weak fuel mix. We're down to mix 3 just because we can't go anywhere anyway, so we may as well save the fuel at this point, as he's really struggling for pace. Tyre wear, and I guess he must be fuel saving as well, as he stays left there and seems to back out the throttle there. Actually, he caught us out a little bit. We nearly made contact, but we managed to get around him okay. He seemed to lift there and let me go. I guess he just thought it wasn't worth defending. I don't know. I was finding it difficult just to move aside and let cars go, but that looks like he did that there. Probably thought he just couldn't defend with the pace he had. So moves us into 4th. So yeah, we're back up to where we were early in the race. Getting the fuel warning up now, 0.7 laps remaining, but only a couple of corners to go, so we're running the fuel pretty much to the edge. That's what you want. And yeah, look at the gap we've already pulled out from the car behind, so he is really struggling on this lap. He must be running seriously low on fuel or something. But the car's in front, too far ahead. Just keep it tidy now. Nail the turning, over the curb, now into the left-hander, back on the throttle progressively, full throttle, and yeah, pretty pleased with that. 4th place, started 7th. I know it's a good field of drivers, and yeah, if I'm not feeling very confident before we set out there, pretty pleased to have made no major errors. Bit of scrappy driving from me compared with what I'd like to do normally, but can't complain at 4th place. And yeah, moved up 3 positions, and yeah, pretty clean race overall as well. It was fun. It's one of my favourite circuits on the game. I've had plenty of practice driving this over the years on the F1 games, so it's good fun, but it is tricky in these Group 3 cars. But yeah, fun race. Hope you guys enjoyed watching, and I'll see you again next time. Bye for now.